Hello, and welcome to CTK Film After Hours, the podcast that gives you the latest and greatest information on upcoming projects in the media biz. Tonight we have a pair of budding students looking to get their A-level media project from coursework to a real full-length production. And tonight, my friends, you have the privilege of being the first to get a sneak peek behind the scenes of their viral horror trailer, Saint Satan. So guys, introduce yourselves, don't be shy.
Hi, my name is Eva and I'm the director of Saint Satan, of the Saint Satan trailer, and also a co-producer.
Hi, I'm Helena and I'm the editor, director of photography and also a co-producer for the Saint Satan trailer. So guys, talk to me about the initial stages of your trailer. What research did you conduct?
Well, that's a good question. After doing some in-depth analysis of two horror trailers, Prometheus and Chernobyl Diaries, we were able to identify horror conventions which were vital to implement. It was vital to implement in our trailer, and an assistant recognition of the genre was the lights used. Dark lighting with overcast skies and the use of created shadows was a key feature that we knew that was vital to establish the trailer as a part of the horror genre. When looking at Chernobyl Diaries, they chose to start with a bright light lit home video of friends embarking on an extreme holiday with a turnout of events leading them into a trap. We saw how this was effective in the trailer, essentially how the plot line itself, but decided that for our storyline this was more about the challenging conventions, which is why we looked closer at Prometheus, as it falls in the horror genre but it is a hybrid of horror and science fiction. We noticed that Prometheus did have some aspects of science fiction, but that the film relied heavily on suspense created by music, which is a convention of genre, of actually horror genre.
As well as what Eva said, we, whilst we were analysing Prometheus and Chernobyl Diaries, we had a look at Snow White just so that we could compare and contrast between the two different genres of horror and action adventure. But we noticed, aside from bright lighting and majestic music, that there were multiple settings used throughout the film, whereas Prometheus and Chernobyl Diaries, the duration of the filming took place in one setting. So we figured this was a convention of horror films, that it's either a scary house or, you know, an abandoned building or something where a lot can take place, but it stays in one place and you don't go on a journey. And we set our film around a house and the street that the house is on for our trailer. But we noticed that the shots used tended to be long shots to show travelling and the journey that they go on in action adventure films, whereas it's much more close and personal in horror trailers. You get close-ups and mid-shots and extreme close-ups. But both genres of trailers followed the same process of a non-linear format, and they started slow and built up suspense. So we established that that was a key element that we wanted to utilise and feature in our trailer. So how is your product different to others of the same genre? What makes yours stand out from the crowd?
As every other director and producer would want, we wanted our product to stand out, because who wants a product who is, you know, has already been seen and has already gained, you know, the attention it can. So the story itself was challenging, as we chose an antagonist, a charity worker on a Christmas Eve who gets stabbed, and later on the new season Saintinity saintly ways and makes a pact for revenge. He's brought back to life in order to reap revenge on the family of his killer. And the satanic aspect of the film was chosen in order to break with stereotypes around Santa Claus, so that the audience is aware that it is a real evil villain to fear in Australia, and it's not, you know, a some sort of character that's, you know, not scary, and, you know, it doesn't have that such a, you know, horror genre aspect of it.
Right. So, who were your major influences? Well, what films inspired you, and, you know, because every director, producer, whoever's working on a film, as much as they'd like to be original, they always tend to implement ideas and themes that they've found interesting in other work. So, what films would you say influenced your trailer the most? We built upon what we did for RAS levels. So we looked at the opening of Seven last year, and that really had a profound effect on cinematically what we wanted to achieve this year, especially like the opening. And it gave us some interesting concepts and visual ideas to work with. So the camera work in a particular part of the trailer is it's extreme close-ups, it's fast-paced, it's abstract, it uses light and canted angles, and we just felt that it created a feeling of unease about the antagonist, and we really wanted to put that quite early on in the trailer to move away from the Santa image and show a progression of the character from a charity worker to a real demon. And something else that we took upon from the Prometheus trailer and we noticed is that it did have some aspects of the science fiction genre, but that the film relied heavily on suspense created by music, which is a big convention with the horror genre. So, like the siren sound, the that's a recurring motif. We really took that on board, and that sort of beckoning cry. And we wanted to use that as a basis for our trailer to create suspense. But instead of using sound, we chose to use a recurring image of an eye. We felt that having something continuous, it's something that builds tension, and we decided rather than music, that because our killer is so intrusive and just like you see in the opening of Seven part that we put in, you can see that he's really an all-seeing eye kind of person. You know, you get the sense that he's stalked the victims, he's really calculated what he's going to do, he knows everything about them. So the gathering information about the victims, the eye evokes this sort of feeling of surveillance. So that's really what we wanted to achieve from Seven.
Another film that we felt under high influence of was Friday the 13th, the original, the 1985 trailer. We found out that the count up from 1 to 13 listed various deaths in the film. It was an interesting way to create fear as it, you know, built up suspense. Also, the sound used in the trailer for the reverberating whispers was a feature that could be used in our own trailer. We took these two great ideas and built upon them to create non-digestic sound in our trailer. We used the girl singing in a whisper and the lyrics from Santa Claus is Coming to Town, which periodically appeared throughout the trailer. We made it layered twice and faded it in and out to create an echo with which is a similar effect used in Friday the 13th. It also fits in well with the paranormal and ghostly aspect of our trailer, because we did try to make sure that, you know, to get our idea through, that he was a saint, and then because of what happened to him, because of him being stabbed, he becomes, you know, he gives up his ways and becomes that evil satanic ghostly creature that, you know, goes on a killing spree. So we felt that this type of non-diegetic sound is an important horror convention to create a creepy atmosphere.
That was great, guys. I wish you all the best with your project, and thank you very much for joining us.